Hey guys, it is October the 12th, 2014. I want to go over the euro dollar using price and time technical analysis, looking for the week of October the 13th. So please pause the video and read the video disclaimer. Alright, as we can see, this is a commitments of traders report. You can see on the net positions, commercial was kind of selling from the September 9th and started buying again on September 30th. Same thing with retail. They were short, started buying, and kind of now got on the short side in regards to their positions. Retail kind of flat, but large speculators doing the same thing. If you look at the COT index, you can see that the commercials started buying on the 30th, and right now they're building a long position, meaning that maybe this thing could continue going lower. So they might be hedging, and the large speculators and retail are selling into it as of the 30th, and they're pushing lower. So that's what the index is showing in the net positions. Commercials buying, large speculators are selling. And we got the pivot low of October 30th, 24.99. We put the high of October 9 and started selling. So it'll be interesting to see if we make a higher low and a higher high, or take out 24.99 and push lower. And maybe this is why they are doing this, because they believe maybe it's going lower. So it should be interesting to see how it's going to pan out. Going to the charts, a lot of people ask me, is this Elliott wave counting? And the answer is no. This is my own system that I follow, and it's all impulse waves. So pretty much, to answer your question, no. That's why people see it and be like, oh, well, why, all these rules of Elliott wave. So no, to answer your question, no. As you can see, if you look at my past videos, the wave 5 has just been falling down, and this is where we're at now. And if it continues pushing, then that's still wave 5 until I add my own system to it, or changes or whatever. But getting back to the chart, seasonal date you want to watch is October the 14th, which is coming up. Will be interesting to see if we put a low on that 14 and maybe push higher. But as of now, you can see using the Andrews pitchfork, we're in a channel pushing lower, and we found resistance right at the channel up there, which is at 27.90, which is 27.47 is also a 50% from the monthly swing. Yep. And you can see that we put a high there, spiked down, took out the 50%, which is at 26.45. If we continue pushing lower, possible targets at 25.72, which is right there. And if we crack that level, we're going to find maybe support at the 75%, which is at 25.32. As of right now, we do have kind of like a buy signal, but I recommend caution. We need to close above 26.97 and stay above it for the next 3 days for me to even believe that this is a pivot low. So just want to let you know that. I can't stress it anymore. Just because you see this action here, we'd seen it here, we've seen it here, so that's why you need to be very cautious. This thing could continue going lower, and the bottom may not be even around anytime soon. So I'm just letting you know what I'm seeing. Now we take this Andrews pitchfork out and we use our Gann swing. Our Gann swing is giving us the green light, and like I said, you have to be very cautious. You need to close above 26.97 for the next 3 days, pushing higher, and now you need to take out that 27.90 for it to be really confirmed that this is probably going to be maybe a swing low for now. So right now those are the targets that we have. Or the position where it's at. If you can see right there, we still have it green right now. We use it on the one indicator. It's probably a little negative right now, but that's part of price action. It goes up and down, so we'll see how it'll pan out this week. But it should be interesting if this is a lower leg or maybe it pushes lower and maybe finds support at these pivots, or maybe it does a double bottom and then bounces. So either way, one day you want to keep an eye on is the 14 for a seasonal day. I'm not saying it's going to be a pivot low. I'm just going to say that that's a day that could be volatility could be increased. So it could be a possibility of a pivot low, a spike down or a spike up, or probably nothing. You could go either or. I think that's it for that chart. Now if we look at my other timing chart, we could start out with our cycle analysis. You can see that it's been pushing lower, and it has a pivot low right here. And it looks like it's spiking up and, kind of stalls like the first week of November. So we'll see how that pans out. It shows something about January, the first week, and then spiking up. But we'll see how this cycle is going to pan out. Another is a low here. It'll pause around the first week of November, and towards the end of the month of November, and then trend higher. But we'll see how that's all going to pan out also. Just wanted to show you those things. Another cycle here was kind of actually early here, and same thing, first week of November. So there's a lot of stuff going on kind of like the first week of November. So you can see it all lining up. So can we go, could it be inverse, that we continue pushing lower and maybe the first week push up? Or maybe we go higher and then stall on the first week of November and then push down, and then put a low around December the first week and then go higher. I don't know. Remains to be seen, but I just figure I'll show you what I'm seeing in regards to cycle analysis. Looking at the Bradley model, this is Astro base. You can see that we did put like a pivot low here on the fifth here, third, fifth, put high. So you got the 16, 17 coming up, which is a date I'm having an eye on. I don't know if it's gonna put a low here, a new low, or kind of pop from there, or do a low and then pop, or maybe put a high and then pop down. I don't know, but that's a day you definitely want to watch, the 17th. This is a Bradley optimized for the euro, and you can see that the 7th, the date I was watching with the astro cycles, the moon especially, it gave it a nice little pop, for a nice little 2-3 day pop from 7, 8, 9, and then it got a nice high there and sold off. So you can see that on the Andrews pitchfork, it hit it right there on that angle. So we'll see, and let's see. So the cycle was here, the pivot 7, 8, and then it has a pivot here on the end of the month. So another date to watch, the end of the month, in regards to that. People have been asking me, you think the bottom is in? Well, to answer your question, it could be or it could not be. September 30th was a square out day, and I thought that was going to be a bottom, and look what happened. We pushed lower, got a spike low. So jot these prices down for possible pivots low if it continues pushing lower. Anywhere from the 2152. This is a Fibonacci level, the 2047. Actually, 2041 was the low of July. Take out that low of July of 2012, and you're going to see possible support over here from 1857 to 1841 all the way. And these are like big supports that I'm looking at. You can see that 979. So that's looking way out into the future if this thing continues tanking. So just wanted to show you that those are the possible pivot lows I can see in regards to price action. Next thing, looking at the 128 technique. Let's see if we could close this a little bit. Nothing there on the 128 technique. On the Gann square, using the 2008 high, you can see that on that cycle right there, the 7th 8, we got a nice little pop. Failed to even get to the 2820, and now this is where we're at. So It's kind of like in no man's land. So let's see what is going to trigger this thing to go higher or lower. Nothing there. Nothing there. Planetary equidistance returns. You can see that this is a key level you want to watch, 2684, besides the 2697 that I mentioned earlier. This is moon return. You can see that the 17/18th, actually the 18th right here, but 17/18th want to keep an eye on. Could be a possible pivot low if it continues pushing lower to spike up. This is the current swing using the Gann square, and this was the median point, 26. I actually thought that we were going to turn here, and you can see that it did not happen. So we're now hovering somewhere around here, and turning possible point could be the end of the month. So those are the dates I'm watching. The 17th and the last week of October could be a trigger point where they could possibly be a turn. Looking at the monthly bar, it's still negative, pointing down. The weekly bar is still negative, which is different from the Gann swing, which is another signal that I use. So right now we're in the 3-day stage, so it's still bullish, but we got to see if we could get above 26.97. Gann fan, we pierced it here, and now we're kind of trying to stay above it, or trying to hold it, which is at 26.47, and that's from the July 24th, 2012 low, all the way to the pivot high of the May 8th. That's the Gann fan. See where we at right there. Nothing there. Pitchfork, kind of holding this angle right here, but let's see how it pans out this week. Nothing there. What's this timing right there? November 1st, the first week of November. So it should be interesting if we don't make a pivot low. We go sideways here, and maybe on November the 2nd, maybe pop on that first cycle. So we'll see how that goes. The harmonics, same thing, kind of just choppy. Looks like a pivot low, so keep an eye on October the 30th. Fourier string, looks like things want to push to the upside and maybe topple out in November. So we'll see how that pans out there. 28.90 level to watch. And the saw, you can see right here, the end of the month. So there's a few things happening the 17th and the end of the month using this first impulse. Right there could be a trigger point. Where if this continues pushing lower right there on the 30th, maybe pop all the way to the first week of December. So let's see how that looks, so how it pans out. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. And using the free ellipse, you can see that we're kind of creating a wedge here, and there's a first week of November, same thing, and the last week right here of October. So those are the dates you want to watch, and let's see how it maneuvers within the ellipse. I think that's it for this. I don't think I have anything else to show here. Covered it all. Next thing I want to show you is the options. Looking at the futures, you can see that the call sizzle is at 4.866, and the put sizzles is at 4.504. So that as of now, there's more calls against the puts. So someone is bullish on the futures on the euro. So let's see how it's going to pan out this week. As you can see, using on balance volume, you can see that we spiked up, but we never really took out that level right there. So it's still pushing to the downside. So let's see if we push lower, test this low, respect it, and go higher, or continue pushing lower. This is the 15 minutes. You can see it's pushing lower. 5 minute, the 1 hour kind of got that spike up there, but then that's it's pushing lower. So if we take out that spike, should be interesting. If we could take out that up there too, and maybe push higher. Looking at the linear regression, this is still holding on the monthly, and on the weekly is still a sell signal, monthly still a sell signal, and on the daily we're holding this linear regression channel right here and found resistance right here at the purple linear regression channel. So we got a buy signal on the daily, and it's definitely holding that 26.14 or whatever this low is, 26.21. So we could hold that and push lower. Then this buy signal on the daily is very valid, confirming the GAN swing that, you know, things are looking good. We just got to have more bulls show up and now push it and take that high, close, like I said, for the next 3 days above 26.97, and then we're in the game. This definitely probably would be some resistance up here if we ever get to that 29.14 level around there, or around here, 28.57. Next chart, you can see this is 50% level, 27.47, failed it, and now right now we're in chop zone within the MOBO. So reversal points could be that 25.61 right here. This is the actual low, 24.99, and we're trying to hold this pivot, which is at 26.23. If we hold that and push up and take out the 26.85 and 26.97 I said, and get at least above the 27.47 and push higher, then it's going to look good. You can see that this is all resistance point on the 15, and this is all the support we have. This is the last defense line, which is at 24.99 for the euro. Same thing, I get the 1 hour chart, still in a bearish control with the bears, and this is the 5 minute. Seasonal. Let's see what the euro has done in the past to see maybe we could kind of get a glimpse of what's coming up in the future. This blue line, this is the 2012. You know that it spiked up here for this week, and then it kind of went sideways, and then it sold on the week of the 20th all the way down to the November. So this kind of is choppy. The average is telling us that it should go higher at least to the week of the 20th of October and maybe have a pullback. If you look at this yellow kind of orange line, that's 2011. It got a nice pop all the way to the last week of October. So it should be interesting. You want to keep an eye on the last week of October, and then sold off drastically. The pink one, same thing, got a nice little pop and stalled out on the 20th, which is at 17.18. So you want to keep an eye on that week, and then pulled back down. And the red line got a nice pop from the first week of September, and kind of stalled out, you know, the first week of November, somewhere around here. It kind of just went sideways. And the blue line is the 2009, and it got a pop from the last week of September, and then it stalled the week of the 20th of October. Sold off, and towards the last week of November, then sold off right there again. So a lot of the stuff is showing, you know, pops, and even the average within the, you know, the 5 years on the weekly, showing a pop and maybe stalling here. So let's see how this week is going to pan out, but this is where we're at right now, and let's see if we could push higher or maybe even push lower. Interesting to see that the 2010 put a low of 1964 right here, 2010. So keep an eye on that. And lastly, wanted to show you, actually, let's look for the dates before we go there. Dates you want to keep an eye on coming up would be the 17th, 18th. The 18th is a square out day also. October 17th, 20th. Could be a possible pivot low if we take out the 24.99, and this is going to be determined this week how this 9th and 10th gets color coded, but these were negative, didn't work out. This square out on the 30th didn't hold, the first didn't hold here. This gives us a nice little pop, the 2nd and the 8th, and like I said, October 30th gets 3 hits. Will be last week of October, should be an interesting day to watch. These get a green. This is a Venus and Mars buy. The next date, this is the 11th, didn't work out to Saturday. So pretty much the 14th and 17, 18, and 20 should be your next days. You want to keep an eye on the euro. Looking at the GAN square of 9, this is where we made a pivot lower right here, which lines up. It looks like the markets are opening up. As I'm doing this video, we can see that we did a pivot low right at that July 1st spike high from that swing down. 17 is going to be coming up right here, which is the right at the 270 degree, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Right here, pretty much 90. You want to look at it a different way. So this could be possibly support or resistance if it's going up. Nothing really here. Pivot low right there, and we're going over here. Got the 15th, 16th, 17th coming up. Same thing here. We did a pivot low right here, right where this angle is on the square of 4, and we went to the danger zone on the 90 degree, and I kind of found resistance on the 9/10, and now we're heading to 17. So this is a day you want to keep an eye on, which has a cluster. Same thing here. We made a low on the 8th, put a swing high on the 1st. So what could be the 17th? Could be a swing low. I don't know. I'm just showing you what I see, so you could keep an eye on and watch, and whatever price action is telling you, at least have an idea timing wise where you're at with the euro. Lastly, this is the low as of now, 24.99. This is all the highs and lows that we've made, and this is where we closed, 26.27. 27.90 is the high as of now from the 24.99 low. So let's see how this is all going to pan out. And lastly, the big picture. You can see that the euro opened up. Right now we're at the 20. On the 12 hour, you can see that it's still negative. MACD is negative. CCI is negative. Fisher sell signal pushing lower. Got a hockey stick, so it might probably pop and retrace, but we'll see. TTM wave short term negative, and this is kind of creeping up slowly on the TTM squeeze. On the daily, you can see that we're in chop zone. So if you want to stay out of the chop zone, anywhere from the 26.88 all the way to the 25.99, it's all going to be chop zone right there. Once you clear this this level right here, which is the 87.5%, then you could push higher, maybe kiss the 20 simple moving average, which is at 27.29, and maybe retest this high, which is at 27.90. Break out through there, and you're possibly going to the 75%, which is at 28.73. Obviously reverse, if you push lower, you're coming down here to test this low again in this linear regression channel. As you can see, the new moon is coming up on October 22nd, 23rd. So this should be a week you want to keep an eye on the euro. Everything else here is negative. Cycles are turning. Looks like it wants to push lower. You're in the medium point right here, so it's kind of like negative to, like, you know, sideways, and you having divergence with the TTM squeeze. On the weekly, still same thing, pushing lower. You're trying to hold at least a 25.92, which is the 75% level right here, but still negative. The only thing positive on the weekly is you got a Fisher buy signal all lined up with the SOAP. So If this is correct, it looks like it wants to push higher, but you know, I'm not gonna believe it until a lot of these other indicators start getting positive. At least the TTM squeeze. I haven't had a yellow bar since May 8th of 2014. It's just been, as you can see, it was in a squeeze play setup and then it just dropped. So I haven't even had this turn positive. So let's see how it's going to pan out. Even though I got the GAN swing showing positive, you have to still, you know, be cautious at these levels. Monthly, same thing. Everything is negative. Negative. Nothing is really positive here. The only thing is you had this pop to the upside, pop to the downside, and it's kind of like now right back where, you know, back in the middle range here. So that's all I have for the euro. Good trading, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the euro.